Hello, everybody. Welcome to our EI Fundamentals Testing Orientation call. We actually had a technical difficulty yesterday on our webinar that included all the people when we tried to record. So we're re-recording this with Monica and myself. And unfortunately, we don't have Maria and Ryan today like we did yesterday, but we're going to tell you what they told us yesterday. They are from People Productions, and Maria is the one who is the developer of the course, and Ryan is sort of our technical assistance guru, and he helps us with technical aspect of this course, and so he'll be your go-to person for technical assistance with our platform, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. So we just want to say thank you so much for helping us test our new EI Fundamentals training. We're super excited, and we really do appreciate you helping us, and what you will be providing us is going to really be helpful. So the modules, there are 10 modules in the new EI Fundamentals training, and the target date for the release of these modules for this testing is going to be Tuesday, June 5th, 2018. Yesterday on the webinar, I said I had the date 2019, so that was kind of funny, kind of not, but it is this year, 2018, even though it seems like it might be a year from now, but it really is next week. So be expecting that. The platform that we're going to be reviewing this in is called Review My eLearning, and this is a reviewing platform. This is not the platform that it's going to actually be in for new service coordinators, for people that are actually going to be doing the training in. This is just for our review. And so when you get the email that's asking you to review it, you're going to, in order to start the review, you'll put in your email and create a password. I'm going to show you some screenshots of what that's going to look like. You're going to have about 2 weeks to review these modules. So you can pace yourself, you can do it all at once, but we are going to cut it off at that 2-week point so that we can get it completed and then uploaded into Cornerstone. When it's completed, we'll do final revisions based on your feedback, based on our feedback, and then we'll upload it into Cornerstone and have it ready for new service coordinators. So this is what your email may look like at the top. This is just a screenshot from my email. It said, I got their email from Review My eLearning, and it says, this is a request to review EI Fundamentals, and we got them in separate modules, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. You are going to get a link, and it's going to include all of the modules at once. So I'm not sure exactly what it's probably going to say, request to review EI Fundamentals, probably not a specific module. And then when you open the email, it'll look something like this down at the bottom. It'll say Review My eLearning, and it'll say Ryan Everts, that's the person from People Productions, has asked you to review the course EI Fundamentals, and like this says Module 9. Yours probably won't say that because you're not going to be getting them in specific modules. And then you'll just click there where it says View Course, and it should take you to the next screen that I'm going to show you. It says below, you'll see there, if you cannot use the link above, please copy and paste the following URL into your browser. So that's a little hint. You can do that if the View Course doesn't work. When you click on that View Course, you should get a screen that looks like this. You'll need to sign into your account. So you'll use your email that you received this request on. That's the email that you put in on the form that you sent to me. That's what I sent to them. So you'll put your email in, and then the password is just something that you make up. So it's not anything special that you'll get from them or anything. You just make up your own password, put that in, and then you can click on that remember me and sign in, and then you don't have to remember it again. It'll just remember it for you the next time you need to sign in. Okay, and then when you sign in, it'll go to a screen that looks sort of like this, and it'll show you all of the modules here. So you can see mine. I don't know how, when you get it, if it will be going from bottom to top or from top to bottom. You can see mine here goes from module 1 is on the bottom, module 2, 3, 4, 5. One thing to note is that in this platform, module 5 has been divided into 2 sections, 2 parts. And in the final version, it won't be in 2 parts, but in this review version, it's in 2 parts. So you need to make sure that you're reviewing part 1 first and then part 2. Because if you start with part 2, it won't make any sense. So you'll probably know if you've started with part 2 of module 5. So just make sure that you review module 5, review part 1 first. Now you don't have to review them all. You don't have to review all of the modules if you don't want to, but I do recommend viewing them in order because the material does build on itself, and so it's helpful to view the modules in order, in my opinion. However, if you think that there's certain material that you just want to view and you want to review those modules only, that's fine. Monty, do you have anything that you want to add at this point? Okay. All right. I'm going to just look at my notes and make sure I haven't missed anything to this point. Okay. Then from this point, you're going to click on, for instance, module 1, you'll click on the review over on the right-hand side when you're ready to start reviewing, and you'll come to the screen that looks like this. So this says Aloha. I guess maybe you can pretend that you're in Hawaii there. I never noticed that before. So that just made me feel like I'm on vacation. Yay. This we're going to begin our review of EI Fundamentals Module 1. Now you'll notice here it says begin my review or take a short tour. Now I do recommend the very first time you start this to take a short tour. What that does, it kind of gives you a tour of this Review My eLearning platform, and it will show you how to navigate the viewing panes in the Review My eLearning, how you can make it bigger, smaller, some of the functionality of the Review My eLearning. So you only need to do that the first time, and it's very short. It doesn't take very long. It's about 10 slides worth of instruction, and it's worthwhile. So I recommend that you go through that the first time, and maybe if you forget, you might want to do it again, because I just did it when I was preparing for this little orientation, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have done this again. It's a little bit helpful to do that. So, and then you're going to click on begin my review, and you will go into the review of the module. So I'm going to try and share my screen with you and actually show you what it looks like when reviewing the module. So I'm going to do a new share here. Nope. Okay, so let's scroll. I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see. Module 1 right here. All right, so let's do review. And begin my review. And then it will ask you, now, since I've been in this platform before on Module 1, it asked me, would you like to resume where you left off? So this is a good time to tell you that if you need to stop at some point during your review, that's fine. You can stop, exit out of it, and then when you come back, it will ask you this question, and you can say yes and just pick up right where you left off. Or in my case, I'm going to say no, because who knows where I was when I left off. I'm going to say no, and it's going to start back at the beginning.
Welcome to Module 1 of Early Intervention Fundamentals.
So you can, hopefully that you heard that sound, and so whenever you are reviewing this, you are going to need speakers or headphones. You're going to be able to need to hear it. So you're going to need to be in a room where you're going to be able to listen to the module, because it does have videos, it has voiceover, and it has instructions for navigating the course. When you do the little tutorial about the platform, it will tell you that you can make this picture bigger by dragging the screen here. And that's what I always do, because I like to see the picture and make it bigger. And then over here on the side is where you're going to write any comments that you have. And you can categorize your comment based on if it's text, if it's graphics, if it's functionality, anything like that. Veronique is the person who actually develops the slides and does the fine-tuning of the Articulate, which is the program that we use to develop these things. And so she's made some comments in here. These will probably be gone when you get this, because they're making final edits for this review. And so we're gonna show you some of the things that are on this slide, so that you can understand what you're looking at here. Down here on the bottom is CC. This is closed captioning. So if you click on that, you'll see it's closed captioning, so you'll see what the voiceover is saying. It doesn't usually say what is printed on the slide, because you can read that, but whatever the voiceover is saying, it will list down here on the bottom. This bar right here is sort of a progress bar for the voiceover, generally. This little button right here is a forward bar, so you can usually press this, or sometimes there's a button up on the slide that advances your slide for you. Usually the slide will tell you what to do. Up on the top are some here is a volume. I'm sorry, this one right here, you can slide your button, and then also, of course, you know, on your computer you'll have your speakers volume. So there are a couple of different ways to adjust volume when you're looking at this. Now up at the top we have these little lines. This is a table of contents. So you can click on this and see how when it comes up, you have, these are the slide numbers, and all the slides are named, and you can click on like that slide, and it should go to that slide.
Let's go over your roles and responsibilities as a service coordinator. You can find and download these responsibilities in the Early Intervention Colorado State Plan in the Resources section.
This is a pause button. So I'm going to pause that there. And I'm going to go back to that first slide, the introduction. You see it doesn't play again because it already played once. And so when I went back to that slide, it didn't replay. So that's the table of contents. So you can use that to navigate back and forth. Now this is a progress bar. Now you can see, because we skipped forward a little bit, our progress bar told us, oh, you're way far in this slideshow because you went forward. So that's a little bit misleading in this case because we really haven't gone through all of those slides yet. But this is helpful to kind of let you know how far you've gotten in the progress. This button right here is the home button. This takes you to the beginning of the module. If you're at the end and you just want to go back to the beginning for some reason, you can do that. This button right here is a journal button. Throughout the module, you'll have opportunity to write a reflection. There are reflection questions that you will write in a journal. And this is for new service coordinators to just have opportunity to think about the material that they've learned or heard, and to write this down in a journal. And then after they've written that down, typed it in, you click save, and it says save to your journal. Now you do this in this training, and it will ask you to do this on this testing phase. Currently, it doesn't really go anywhere. It just saves it, and it says that it's saved, but it doesn't really save it anywhere right now. When this is uploaded into the Cornerstone Learning Management System, it will go into and be saved into their record, the service coordinator's record in the Learning Management System, and be saved there. So they will have that as a record and can see that. They'll need to type in at least 80 characters. That's the default and the minimum that we've set, just so that they have to give some thought to their answers, what they're typing. If they don't, it says you must type at least 80 characters. You kind of heard some of the voiceover, and that is Maria, who has been the developer that we've been working with. She's wonderful and has learned so much about early intervention. We're so impressed with her, and has been really helpful to us. And so she's done all of the voiceover in this in these modules, and we just want to let you know that we think she's wonderful. She's done a great job, but there are a couple of things. One is sometimes the voiceover is in the same slide is really loud at one point, and then it gets much softer. It's not consistent throughout. Sometimes a video is really loud and then the voiceover is soft, or vice versa. So it's just not consistent. We just want to let you know, we know that. You don't need to make a comment about that. Maria will not be the final voiceover. They hire actors to actually do that, usually a couple of different people to do the voiceover. And so that will be changed later on. We want to make sure we get all of the voiceover correct before we actually do that hiring and get that final done. So that won't be the voiceover that you hear won't be the last one, but it's just there so that you can hear what it might sound like.
And yesterday, Maria said you'll hear background noises in the voiceover too, which we often include her grandson, which is really fun to hear. But we just want to let you guys know that we know that there is that there are some things with the voiceover, but it is not in its final stage yet.
Yeah, her grandson is 10 months old, so sometimes he'll hear a little baby cooing in the background or something. It's kind of fun. It adds ambiance to early intervention. So so we know that about that. The next thing up here is this little exclamation point, and that is a little tutorial about the platform, and it actually goes through what all these little icons are, and the progress bar and that sort of thing. We don't have this for this for this testing phase, but whenever we do actually have the training, we will have that little tutorial, and people can access that at any time. The next thing is a little like book, and that is resources, and we are compiling resources, and periodically you'll hear in the training, you can find this in the resources section, and we'll have resources. For instance, the Larimer County Age Anchoring Tool, or different things that are resources for service coordinators, they'll be able to find there. This is not going to be active during this testing phase, so you won't be able to access them here, but they will be available later. And then this one is, this exits or ends the session, and this does work because I accidentally clicked on that the other day and boom, it was gone. There's also exit over here at the edge, and that works also.
So if you needed to leave in the middle of doing your review, you can hit that orange exit button, and don't hit finalize or complete or anything, just hit exit. And then next time when you open up this module and it asks if you want to start where you left off, it'll bring you back to the screen that you were on. So that's helpful.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my little PowerPoint presentation and talk to you about kind of what we are looking for, because there are some specific things that we are asking of you as we are doing this this testing phase. First of all, we are looking for typos. You know, if you see any typos, we've gone through this multiple times, so hopefully we're not going to see any typos, but you know, inevitably there will be some. If you do see typos, please be specific. If you see it, don't just say, you know, typo on this page. Please say, in this word there is a typo and this is what it is, so that we can find it easily, and make in the third bullet on this whatever. So make sure you're specific so that we can make sure that we get it corrected. We are not looking for changes in content, in wording, you know, in things like that. Believe me, we have gone over and over and over this, and we believe we've done what needs to be done and made sure that we've worded it in the way that it needs to be worded. So we're not looking for that. We are looking for functionality. If you're coming up to a place where you're like, this is not working right, I can't figure out how to work this. If you get stuck in a technical difficulty and you can't move forward, there are some troubleshooting things that you can do. One thing you can do is try to open it in a different browser. For instance, one day I was working in Google Chrome and I could not get it to advance to the next slide. I couldn't even get a button that would let me move it to the next slide. And so I opened it in Internet Explorer, and it worked fine. And so they definitely want to know that. And so if something like that happens to you, be sure to note that in the comments, and be sure to be specific and say, I wasn't able to advance the slide and I was working on Google Chrome on a Mac, or Google Chrome on a PC, or Google Chrome on my iPad, or whatever it was that you were working on. They've been trying to test it on different platforms and different machines, so they want to know specifically where you're running into glitches. There may be some situations where the problem is actually with the Review My e-learning that won't happen when it's in Cornerstone, but we don't necessarily know that yet. But we do want to know of the glitches that come up. So any of those functionality issues, we do want to know about. If you run into a problem, I am going to be gone on vacation next week when these actually come out. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this little orientation right now. But Monty's going to be here. She can help you. Or you're going to be getting that email, and it's going to have Ryan Everett's contact information. He can also help you with technical glitches as well. So either Monty or Ryan, please feel free to reach out to them next week. Or the week after that, I'll be back. So I'm happy to help you as well. Also, what we want to know from you is if there is an activity or some instruction that doesn't make sense, and you're like, there was an activity, some instruction, and it said to do this, but I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. And so it said to do XYZ, and I did this, and it didn't do what it was supposed to do, or whatever. So be as specific as possible when making those. Whenever you make a comment, you will probably see other people that have also made comments. So if you see the same comment, you can scroll down. You can add on to those comments and say, this happened to me too, or this happened to me in a different way. Or if it happened to you, you don't have to keep making the same comment again. If it's already there, it's been noted. And although if it's egregious, you know, if it's something that seems really bad, you could say, yes, this happened and it was hard or whatever, so that they know that that was something that was difficult. Another thing is if there's something that it seems like we're trying to teach you, I thought of this example, like say we're trying to teach you how to change a flat tire. This is pretty safe because I'm pretty sure this content is not in there. But if we're trying to teach you how to change a flat tire, and then at the end of it you're like, I have no idea. That did not teach me how to do that. We want to know that. The point of this training is to really make sure you're learning these concepts, or new service coordinators are learning these concepts. So if at the end of it you're like, I have no idea. So for a real example, at the end of it, global outcomes, for example, if you're like, really, I still don't have any idea what a global outcome is, we want to know that. I hope that's not the case. We don't think it would be, but please let us know if you think that some sort of material is not covered in depth enough. Okay, anything else, Money? All right. Well, if you have any questions once you get this, once you listen to this orientation information, please feel free to contact me. I'll be in on Friday until about 2 o'clock, and then I am heading off for vacation, so sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. But Monty will be here next week, and then of course Ryan can help with the technical issues for the Review My eLearning platform.
One more thing, as you're going through the modules, part of this is the ask is to also think about what needs to accompany the modules. So if you are, training new service coordinators and you think, okay, after the third module, this would be a good place to add a piece of observation or a workbook, or something that can accompany the modules, or where the pauses might be for office hours to be completed, things like that. So think about that, take some notes on what your thoughts are, would need to accompany this, and then Wayla will be sending out, after the completion of this review, a follow-up survey to gather that information from you.
Yes, thank you, Monty. And any thoughts you have on that are greatly appreciated. We want this to be useful for any of you as trainers of new service coordinators, and we want at the state level to provide this, in a useful way, and we don't want it to be a hardship. And we think that we can add things and make it happen in a chronological order for service coordinators within the Cornerstone Learning Management System. And so we want to design it that way as we upload it into the learning management system. So we want to do that thoughtfully as we move forward. So thank you so much for joining us, and happy testing. Oh, I have a thank you slide. Thank you. Bye-bye.